This happened in the year 2018 in a quiet street in Niger. There lived a 23-year-old lady, Christiana. She was very beautiful. She had brown eyes, chiseled nose, and shiny skin that sat harmoniously on her body that would capture your heart in a glance. And she smelled like she wanted it outward mirror. Her aura attracted the best of people, and her bright smile gave encouragement to anyone around her. She was truly a star. Christiana was a devoted Christian girl who loved to sing in the church, and her voice was like that of the angels transporting the congregation to heaven and back. One Sunday morning after church service, while everyone was basking in the glory of God, the powerful sermon and the soul-piercing voice of Christiana, she heard a soft, thick voice from behind her. Hi. This voice caught her attention, and immediately she turned to see who was speaking, and behold, everybody said, behold. The person who stood before her was a pleasing, dark skin, handsome, 6 feet 5 inches tall man, and he was beautiful to see. And while she was lost in this view, he spoke again to bring her back to reality. Hi, sorry for disturbing. My name is Nicholas, but you can call me Minna. And then she replied, oh hi, my name is Christiana. And there it was, the beginning of something ugly. In the morning of their marriage, Nick maintained being a kind and a loving husband to Christiana, buying her the best of everything he could, until suddenly, when the ones that were covered by his fake persona began to surface, he was a violent and abusive man. He fed abuse just as love to Christiana while making her believe he was the best thing that happened to her. A wicked man, a manipulative man. He would beat her like she was a thief that was caught stealing pepper in the market, and then to add salt to injury, he would rain her down with the most vile words. He would look at her in the eye and say, you, forget about what people tell you. You are not that beautiful. You can't even sing like that. But he would say, you know people don't like you. But me, I do. That's why I'm here for you. He cut her off from anyone that ever cared about her. He established himself as her only support system. Her only friends were his friends who were just like him. He stopped her from singing in church or even going at all. She was in hell, but she didn't realize it, because she passed everything he did to her whenever he got her beautiful jewelry and told her, I love you. One evening, while it was raining cats and dogs and everyone was locked in their houses, avoiding the boisterous outside, there were screams from Nick and Christiana's home. As usual, he was hitting her. He was very much angry, and with his hands firmly gripped around her neck, he was choking her, causing her to go breathless. And she was pleading for her life, but her pleas meant nothing to him. And then suddenly the door was opened. So that elderly woman, Emmanuela, she stood by the doorpost with water dripping down her breast, her dress, and she had heard the screams from her block, and she rushed to the scene. With her candlestick in her hand, she was ready to fight. So she walked hastily towards them and unclenched Christiana from his knee. And then she stretched out her hand. Come with me, I'm here to save you, she said to Christiana. Christiana shook her head from left to right, indicating refusal. was still in love with Nick. But then Emmanuel insisted, can't you see, he is going to kill you. So, resolving that her life had actually just flashed into her eyes, she stood up and took Emmanuel's hand and they walked out of the house. It was a new beginning for Christiana. Emmanuel took her in like a child of her womb and treated her beautifully. She healed quickly, she started singing in church again, and in 3 months, away from Nick, she was a better version of herself. Her salvation took charge of her life and her light had truly come. But it wasn't over. Nick was still lurking around like a thief in the night, waiting for the slightest opportunity for Christiana to leave her door open so he could come in. He would send countless texts and call countless times, begging, claiming he was a changed man. But Christiana kept on ignoring until one day, innocently, she decided she was tired of his disturbance and she was going to ask him to leave her alone. So she picked his call, and it was her soft voice again. Hi, Christiana. I'm sorry. I promise I'll change. I love you. I miss you. Please come back. And before Christiana could get 2 words in, Nick had already gotten 10 words in, and she fell prey to the slippery tongue of deceit. The next morning, Christiana packed her bags, deciding she was going back to Nick because she still believed him and she was still in love with him. Emanuela was confused and sad. She asked, Christiana, what are you doing? Have I not shown you enough love? That man is going to kill you. But Christiana said, no, I still love him. I'm going back. So she walked out of the door and shut it behind her. Neglecting all that she suffered before by him, she reunited with Nick. Now Nick didn't lie about being a changed man. Indeed, he changed, but he was. Slowly and surely, he began opening up closed wounds and inflicting Christiana with more. And just like that, on another rainy evening, there were screams from me and Christiana. He was hitting her as usual. This time, even more angrily than the last. And his hands were firmly gripped around her neck. It was like a replay of 3 months ago. He was choking her, causing her to go breathless, and with tears slowly rolling down the side of her eyes, she begged for her life. But her tears meant nothing to him. And he wouldn't let go of her until she let out her last breath. Seemingly unremorseful of what he had done, he went into the room, packed his bags, and left the house to wherever. Maybe his next victim, leaving Christiana's lifeless body lying on the couch of their living room. And that is the end of my story. People, it is a good thing to be out of the hands of the devil, but you must know that he never stops trying to get us back. Just as the Bible says in 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 8, the devil is moving around like a roaring lion seeking whom to devour. So we should watch